G'day, I'm XO1. I'm here to show you how I've been using solar for the first 2 days of the update. So with this, I get to throw grenades, I get to throw knives. Whenever I want, I can dodge to get my knives back. And I get to throw multiple knives, because I got a kill with one knife. And then I get enhanced strip mines. And then if I pick up some solar wells, I'll get my dodge back, and then I can go my melee again, and I can throw my grenade again, and then I can throw my melee. Every time my melee gets a kill, I get to throw it again, or I get a gunpowder gamble. Lots of spam. So I'm gonna go hide in a corner. We've also got access to a new blade barrage, which does quite a bit of damage. Alright, perfect way to make my escape into death. And we'll go hide up in spawn here. So for the way that I am playing the class, I've got a very low amount of precision required. So I'm using the Young Umkara Spine, which is enhancing my trip mines. These also have the effect of ability damage gives you trip mine grenade energy, and then I've got impact induction on them as well, which is that I do melee attacks to give myself grenade cooldown back. So those are stacking up. And then I'm also using tractor cannon a lot of the time to debuff the enemies because I'm using so much non-precision attacks. So for the subclass, the aspects are an important part. I'm using Knock 'em Down and Gunpowder Gamble. You can use literally any knife. I quite like using either Proximity or Scorch knives, the knife trick. Proximity is just really generous. Gambler's Dodge, so that anytime if you do mess up and don't get your kill with your knife, you can then just dodge to get it back. And then Trip Mine, because we're using a Trip Mine exotic. If you wanted to use something else a bit more neutral, then you could go for the Healing Grenade, and whenever you get Gunpowder's Gamble to proc, you'd have a Damage Grenade on top of that Healing Grenade. For the fragments, the most important one is Ember of Torches for chaining your melees. The way it works is that when you get a hit with your melee, you become Radiant, and when you get a kill with your melee, Knock 'em Down procs, and it gives you your melee back, the throwing knife. So you throw your knife to get Radiant, and then you kill with the knife, which is the same throw, to then get your knife refunded so you can spam it. There is also Ember of Beams, which is increasing the target acquisition on your super. This is really good for blade barrage and obviously for a gun that you're trying to aim. And then finally, I don't really have much use for this third slot. At the moment, I'm using class abilities to recharge faster when you Scorch, if I want to use Knife Trick, for example, which is a Scorch knife. I don't see much use in the weighted knife or lightweight knife because this one's just a bit more damage, but you need precision hits. And the generosity of not hitting and you can hit the ground near an enemy with proximity is really cool for proccing the refunding knives. For the supers, we've got the Blade Barrage, that's for bursts of damage in PvP from just short, medium ranges. You can use the Marksman's Golden Gun. You could use this with the Celestial Nighthawk, and it benefits from being Radiant, so that's a 15% damage buff, so that can get up to 300k damage, compared to Blade Barrage with its shorter, medium ranges, and having high target acquisition, and a Tractor Cannon can get 600k damage total. It doesn't benefit from the 15% Radiant buff. There is also the Golden Gun Deadshot. This is probably just for PvP, causing solar ignitions refunds a bullet, so instead of having targeting, you could swap that over to final blows with your super ignite target so that you would get an ignition every time you kill, which would help. So one thing I'd like to mention that's a bit annoying is for the grenades, the Trip Mine and the Gunpowder Gamble, these will not benefit from the overloaded solar grenades. And while we're here, we'll start looking at the mods. So the Molten Overload from the Season Pass is not working with Trip Mine, it's very sad. For the class item, I've got Melee Wallmaker. This can go into any mods, but it fits nicely because it's an expensive mod on the class item. And then Double Utility Kickstart, so my dodges are coming back all the time. At the moment, I was using Leviathan's Breath quite a bit. I'm trying to get the Catalyst. I'm up to 100 kills and it's giving it to me. I'm using Reaping Wellmaker plus the Well of Tenacity, so this is giving me a damage reduction whenever I've got the Void Wells. But the thing is, you could also just spec into Resilience. This now gives you damage reduction up to 40% in PvE. Speaking of damage reduction, I'm on to my chest. The chest, I've got the Seeking Wells, so any of those solar wells I create from the Melee Wellmaker suck up to me. And then I've got the Artifact Mod plus Arc, so that's covering the Solar, Void, and Arc. Arms, I've got Well of Life, so whenever I suck up those solar wells, I become healing for a while. So it's kind of similar to the restoration effect. It's just increased regeneration for a short time, like over time, which is really cool. That's why restoration and this Well of Life are nice, whereas Devour is just an instant heal on kill. Whereas these ones are over time, so you can like make it last for a while. And the helmet was just Well of Tenacity. For the guns, I've been using Tractor Cannon to debuff enemies for my Blade Barrage, for my grenades, for my knives. You could also just use a Half-Truth Eagle Edge Sword to get around, or maybe Parasite, so you've got another burst of damage in your back pocket. So if you want optimal boss damage, I'd recommend using the Blade Barrage. You can then pull out Star Eater Scales to buff those up in damage. Radiant Light on the Star Eater Scales, plus let's say High Energy Fire on your class item. That High Energy Fire can then apply to your Parasite. So you can Blade Barrage, Parasite, do high damage. One floor Caretaker has been done with that build, and that's it. For the kinetic slot, I've been really enjoying the Deliverance. This once again does not require precision accuracy. You could use a slug shotgun if you want accuracy, and you could use like a bow with headstone if you want to have some ag clear, whatever you want. I was testing out the 1-2 punch, and that does not work because the melees are projectiles, so they cannot proc the 1-2 punch. And for the energy slot, I happen to be using a sniper because I'm looking around for chests, so zooming in with a sniper lets you see chests easier. You could also pull out other weapons. You're mostly looking at solo weapons, probably like a Tracer Rifle, Perpetual Harmony. The Callous Mini Tool is also pretty nice, 900. I will be using Drang quite a bit with the Incandescent perk. That would be nice especially. And if you run out of class ability for dodging and your melee's down, you could try and use Classic Contender with the title.